Hello and welcome back to the Simply Greg Show. Thank you very much for everyone who's watching and tuned in with us today. We're speaking about how to get rid of the feeling of inadequacy in order to find your own awesomeness. And today I've got an amazing guest with me who's sat here so elegantly looking like a model. Exactly. This is Paulina, obviously. She's an amazing photographer who's basically talking to us about, her journey through, finding her own awesomeness and being able to, kind of get that same feeling to her clients when she's taking pictures of them and helping them find their confidence within, because everyone's got it within them. But sometimes it's almost like we're trying to be someone else that we're not, or we're trying to portray ourselves some way that we're not, especially in this world nowadays when it's all social media, it's cameras, it's, everything so it sometimes gets us to lose ourselves in who we are authentically in order to be a different representation of ourselves externally. So this is what we're obviously talking about today in order to kind of help everyone be in that position where you are able to connect with your authentic self. What are some of the other contributing factors that you feel is also adding to all of that? I know I mentioned obviously social media and things like that. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that we need to talk about the society and media, which is really important. And we need to talk about how destructive it is to our well-being and to hiding. Because with the social media, and I'm not saying social media are wrong, but I'm saying that our lack of understanding how to use it, to our better self, to our businesses, to communicating with others, can really put you down and can really destroy you as a person. As we can see now. But what I wanted to talk is about you touched something about being authentic, and like what we're trying to project is the different version that we are. And how important it is to connect with yourself, and what can we do to connect with ourselves, which is so important these days. How can you actually know who you are, and how can you show it to other people? And so when I do with my customers, I ask them, what do they like to do? Where they feel the most happy, when we already discussed. But I want to make sure they don't rely on other people's opinion of them. So I need to identify whether that's what they do. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to understand, where does that feeling of inadequacy come from? And I have few things to help you to overcome that. The biggest thing, and is the most difficult probably for most, is to look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and give yourself some time to look. Some women wouldn't at all. They will have so many different excuses not to do that. But if you do, you might cry for the first time, because you will be so either offended with yourself, how you look, or you might be really sorry for what have you done for all these years to yourself. And you need to hold that mirror, and you need to be there with yourself for at least 10 minutes. And keep looking. You might cry. You might put it away, but come back to it. Next day or the same day, you might start saying to yourself, what are you grateful for in your looks? Don't talk about in internal, because it's too deep. So the reason why I'm talking about external is because it's easy to go to internal. But external, you know how you look. So you can see these things, and you can say, okay, I love my hair, I love this, I love. Now you can go to, I love that I'm kind. So
do
that
the external
will help
first.
you. Exactly. But if the external is a trigger for you, start with internal. So start praising yourself for being good with your friends, family members, or being on time, little things, and keep practicing that mirror experience. And I've learned from Marisa Peer this technique, which she write on every mirror, I am good enough.
That's it.
And read it every single day, even if you can't. Just have it there. Not only that changes your perception over the time, and it takes 21 days to change the habit. So if you do it every single day for 21 days, you will feel different. And then it will also help relationship building with people who live with you, because they will see it as well, whether they want it or not. It's going to be in the mirror, right? So that is the biggest thing. But what helped me on my personal journey, I think the most, was to record myself. It was like a message to me. I recorded a message on my phone, a video message, and I said, Paulina, you are so tired. I feel sorry for you.
Wow.
I'm here for you. You are doing so great. You are a single mom. You're raising those kids. You deserve everything the best in this life. And I said to myself, you are beautiful. You are caring. You are loyal. And I said all the things I wanted to hear. And I cried. After I watched this video, I cried so badly, because it was like seeing yourself for the first time, talking to yourself, and that is more real than somebody else telling you what to do. You were basically seeing yourself telling you some sense. And this has changed so much for me and within me. And it doesn't mean now I am 100% confident and know everything. I also have days, when I'm questioning myself. I have lots of days like this. But to be able to quickly snap with your fingers and understanding that if you're feeling low, take some time, think about it, because it tells you what you need to work on. Take some time, sit down, observe yourself, and then feel it. Everything is feelings. And when you feel, where does that come from? Does it coming from the self-esteem because you're comparing yourself? Does it come from the fact that you didn't give yourself enough time to do something? You had higher expectations? Slow down and record that message, because in the doubt, anytime, you can listen to it, you can view yourself, and that will help you with the mirror exercise. I can guarantee you, if you do that for 21 days, both these, you will feel so much better.
Wow.
You will feel like a really kinder to yourself. But the thing is that people don't want to do it because they're being afraid of what they will see. So I encourage you to take that step into your better life. This is gonna change you forever.
And you're very right in what you said, because one of the things that I identified that you said is you'll be kinder to yourself. Because one of the biggest things that I come to notice, especially for me as a coach, the kind of people that I was actually finding coming to me were not people who were down at the bottom, or people who were felt like they wasn't successful. I was actually getting people who are successful in that particular area of life that they're focused on, right? People that have got more together than people who don't have it together, which is weird, because I thought, you know, even with me, went into coaching and then I thought, oh, it's more people like, oh, I'm down in the dumps, but it wasn't. It was more so people who are so focused, they've got ambitions, they're aspiring for greater things in life, and they want to achieve more. But what I also found is that it helped me really identify that it's the same kind of the same way we have that drive and ambition towards the goals that we go through. It's often those individuals who've got that drive that often actually beat themselves up more, you know, than people who don't, because they just go, and always have big expectations as well. So they don't feel like they've done enough. They don't feel like this is good enough. They're never feeling that, because they always want to go for the next. And that process really helped me identify. There was a blog that I wrote, 5 reasons why your goals are killing you. And I changed the metrics from goals to theme now, because there's a difference between theme and goal, but that's for another day. But I often found, without having gone through that process with the clients, I wouldn't have identified that. But when I saw that, I was like, they are beating themselves up because they feel that they haven't achieved what they achieved, because they aim to achieve that. Once they don't get there, then it's like, oh, you're rubbish. Why did you? And so forth. And going back to what you mentioned earlier on, we can often be the individuals that bring ourselves down. So through that process, what I love is that you go and meet yourself in order to address the situation, so that you can be more kind to yourself, like you said, because we all need to be kind to ourselves in order to encourage ourselves during the journey, during the process of the journey, Yeah.
Yes.
Because I remember one of the things I identify is that you spend more time, when you think about it, you spend more time in a journey than you do in a destination. So where do you need more encouragement, during a journey or when you get to the destination? It's during the journey. So why beat yourself up during the journey because you feel you haven't got somewhere yet? And you're like, when I get there, then I'll be happy. No, you need to be happy now.
Absolutely.
You're not going to last the journey.
Absolutely. And so I feel like when you said about your customers,
Yeah.
I also noticed that about my customers.
Yeah.
I have very strong female
Yeah.
customers, and they are successful. They know what they want. They are very well educated,
Yeah.
and they have been doing lots of things on their own. They're strong women. It's like kind of mirror reflection as well, or as where I aspire to be, and that's how you should look for your ideal customer, right?
Yeah.
However, what I've noticed that it doesn't matter what size they are, what they have achieved, how much they have achieved. We are all equally sometimes guilty of not feeling good enough.
That's it.
And it doesn't matter. There is a perception of that beautiful, slim-looking woman, like ideal for you, say, right? And there's the perception that she must have everything sorted out. She looks so beautiful. She looks so healthy. But it's not. I had customers who are really slim, beautiful, and they look after themselves, and they still lack that self-confidence because of the beliefs they decided to accept as the truth.
That's it. It's the belief system of what you've accepted as your truth. Yes, right.
You know what? I had a customer who says, I can't smile in the photo. I said, why? Because I look strange when I smile. I said, why? Because when I was a kid, somebody told this to me. And I said, okay, so you believed somebody that they are right. When you were, exactly. So how about we try when you smile? And we tried many different things. And guess what? The photo she chose was when she was smiling.
Wow.
Because it was me giving her permission to accept her exactly as she is. And she looked fantastic.
That's crazy. If we take that situation just as an example, just to show ourselves as well in terms of how some of the belief systems that we allow ourselves to hold on to from when we're young. This guy, or whoever this individual obviously said that to him, was probably at that whatever age. Let's say he's 11. He's 11, hasn't really lived life. He's not a photographer. He doesn't know nothing about that. But yet you've taken his opinion on board and you're like 30, 40, 50 or whatever it is, and it's still holding you back. And it just goes to show the level of what, like you mentioned earlier on as well, things that might have been of our past that we're holding on to and are believed to be the truth, when really, if you examine a situation, which is what you allow yourself to go through the process with your clients, often it's not the case.
Absolutely. And look, how many years, how many days of sadness, of trauma, of
pictures where you're not smiling.
Or not living your best self. Not enjoying your life, where you should go and enjoy yourself. How many times you could be in those photos or in real life without photos and smile, but you were worried, right? You were worried that that's not beautiful, that's not whatever. So when I say beautiful, I don't want it to be cliche and outside kind of way of thinking. I want you to believe that your inside is beautiful, right? That means you are love. That's all it is. You are the love. So when you're smiling and that makes you happy, you are the love. So don't focus on some negative comment which has nothing to do with you, but self-limiting beliefs of the other person, and just start looking at yourself with the kinder eye. And that's where I come from. I come from the point of actually allowing you to try the things you were not courageous to do because you felt that you were too fat, too big, too tall, big nose, you name it, too old. My customers are over 40. You think you are too old to live? That's ridiculous.
And I was telling Paulina the other day as well, and you guys should check her out and follow her as well on Instagram. One of the posts that I love was when she is like she's in a funeral, right? And she's like done a picture or a video where she's in a funeral. She's like, "This is me at my funeral." It's like, and there's music in the background, like, and it is like, she captioned it. "If I hear one more woman tell me they're not good enough to take pictures off the camera," and then at that moment, her eyes open up. She's like, "Come back to life." I'm like, yeah, she's literally gonna hunt you down if you tell her.
Absolutely, but look, beautiful woman, I'm talking to you now.
Yeah.
What future are you creating for your daughter, the daughter of your sister?
That's it.
Or any other young female listening to this? What future are you creating if you are not owning yourself? How are you trying to create a better life on this earth if you are putting yourself down? If you are bowing in front of other people and not saying to yourself, "I can do that." This is limitation, which is affecting all of us. Because I believe we're energy. So if you think about yourself this way, you're affecting every other woman around you.
Because that's the thing. If you allow yourself the power to be awesome or to live life purposefully and allow yourself to be all that you are and all that you were created to be, as obviously one of the quotes has said, you give other people the permission to also walk in the true likeness of their light. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what you said, something important, permission. We've already discussed that I was giving them permission to see themselves. I'm giving them permission to buy the photographs. I give them permission. They don't know that they can do that.
Yeah.
But what it is, the most important is for you to give yourself permission to see who you really are. That's it. You need to see yourself. You need to feel yourself. And you need to accept that this body is what you have. So if you're not feeling confident in the size you have at the moment, that shouldn't come from other people telling you this. That should come from within. Like when I was pregnant, after my pregnancy, I felt so beautiful pregnant, but I was like so big. But after the pregnancy, I gained weight. And I understand every woman gaining weight. Sometimes women do it and they don't understand themselves, who they really are, because that overpowers. There's a different outlook. For me, it was the fact that I couldn't fit in my favorite clothes. And I still can't. So what I did, I bought bigger clothes. That's it. And I stopped worrying I really stopped worrying about it. Yes, I do have a day when I'm thinking, "Oh my God, I would love to wear these jeans again." But that will come if I really wanted to. But it means that it's not my priority at the moment. That is not my priority. But if this is your priority, coming from your heart, something is telling you, I need to be more healthier. I need to look better for myself because I feel like my body is my temple. Then do it. But if you think that you're gonna look better because the man wants you, no, girl, you're not gonna find any man. This is what the men want. We think men want beautiful women, and by beautiful we think slim. External, we think slim. We think, I don't know, like a long hair, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the beauty standard you think in your head, but imagine the beauty standard you have in your head. Imagine that woman, and that's what you think men want. But actually, what men, in my opinion, want is that woman who, despite it that she's too small, too large, too slim, too big, long nose, whatever, owns her queendom.
That's it.
With that big nose. You see? It doesn't matter. All they want to know is if you carry yourself as the queen you are.
Ooh, that's it. That's it.
Is that right?
Yeah, no, that's...
I'm not a man, so I'm...
She's like, did it drop? Yeah, drop mic. No, it's true. It's really true. Being able to connect with yourself and, because even there's sometimes I've even allowed myself not to be in certain positions or not even to talk to certain females because I feel that, sadly, that feeling, it's almost like, because I do a lot of work in myself to also be at peace with my own insecurities and so forth, what you find is that when people are not at peace with their own insecurities and insufficiencies and so forth, it's projected all the time. So what they do is put someone else down, but really it's an internal thing. And I found that as well, just like you're talking about and so forth, That there's certain people I might see externally, they might be great, but because they haven't dealt with their own insecurities and inadequacies, it's almost like they're trying to bring you down. It's like, man, and that is so unattractive, you know. And it goes back to what you're saying about being at peace with yourself, being at, you know, you being able to bring out the king or bring out the queen in what you were saying earlier on. Those things are more important than someone who looks great externally with an external appearance, but yet is ugly inside, is just tearing you down, telling you how terrible you are. Really, it's because they feel terrible in themselves, you know, but they just projection. And it come to a point, I remember I noticed, you know, a time in my life where I was so always giving people compliment, always speaking well to other people wherever I go and blah, 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 tell people I love you.
Literally like I am.
Yeah, literally. And then there was one guy who I was working with at that time. He's like, Greg, you're only doing that because that's actually you internally. And I realized, I was like, wow, because you really have to be in a position of peace within yourself first to even see the great things in other people, because you also see the positive things in life. But otherwise, if you're always seeing the negative things in yourself, in other people, it's just the trajectory of where your focus is, you know. So
absolutely. And what you said, something important, we are the mirror of the people we come across. So what happens is that if I am feeling low in my vibration during the photo shoot, I will not conduct the photo shoot. So I have to put myself in a couple of days with giving myself love, lots of attention, being like really careful with myself, because I want her to vibrate the same energy as I
bless.
do.
Wow.
I have to do this.
Wow.
And like, even if I
So let me just talk to your clients. Do you see how much depth she's going into just for you?
Absolutely.
She's doing that behind the scenes just for you. All right, cool. Carry on.
No, but let's think about it.
Yeah.
This is so important because we already established here, nobody is perfect. We already established here that everybody has something they work on. We already established that you can project feelings onto other people and your own insecurities, right? And we are all a work in progress. I am not saying I am perfect now. I know what my insecurities are, and I'm working on them every single day. That doesn't mean that tomorrow they will be done and fixed. But what I know is that whatever you are feeling and you thinking about it, the person you are meeting, they going through similar, or they will project what you need to work on. So isn't that a wonderful, like, you know, tool of, or like it's like a barometer of where we going with our life. So if you find
what kind of friends have you got around you? Oh, that's you. That's you.
But it's so true. Like the people you surround yourself, they can draw on your energy, or they can tell you something.
You know what? It just goes to take me back, because sometimes even in my own journey I forget so much until I hear my guests saying things, and I love it when they do that. That's one of the reasons why for me as well I focus so much on developing myself, because you can't control the circumstances around you, but if you focus on developing who you are, it will now change who comes around you or who you attract around you, you know.
Absolutely.
And you're very right about that, because when you invest so much in yourself, you will now see the difference around you, whether it be the friends that are around you, the people around you, the business partners and things like that. That all makes a difference.
Absolutely. So, you know, you've asked me before, how did you get to that point? You know, I was completely nutter. And I had to really work hard on myself. I've read so many self-help books. I've done lots of courses. I've done hypnosis, all of these things to understand really that what we have is the love inside us, and how do you need to get there? And that's the question. Nobody knows how to. And by sharing some tools here, that will bring you back to love. Whatever we've said already, you know, the mirror exercise, the recording, talking to yourself nicely, doing gratitude list, and being quiet with yourself, and understand where that feeling of inadequacy comes from. This is all bringing you to what everybody wants: feeling loved, feeling understood, connected. Because inadequacy comes from not feeling connected. So you feel different, or not appreciated, not valued, right? And the connection you need to have with yourself. So you need to know yourself so well in order to be able to be connected with other people.
And another thing that you've said so well, and just to add on top of that, sometimes the things that we're lacking to find in other people is only an indication of what you need to identify within yourself.
Absolutely.
When I came to the knowledge of that, it took me on another level. When you're looking for that love externally, that's an indication that you lack something internally, that you need to work on your own self-love.
Absolutely.
Rather than thinking, oh no, he doesn't love me enough, she doesn't, no. Focus on your own self-love. Increase that. Because you ought to be at a position where whether someone does this or doesn't do that or does this or not, you still survive. You are still you. You're still your awesomeness, like you said. In a relationship, outside of the relationship, you still continue being you, rather than you go in a relationship and you're expecting that love externally. It's not given. There's no entitlement to it. First and foremost, you should be thinking about who you pick anyway. You shouldn't be picking anyone who doesn't have that internally within them. But it just frees you from thinking that you need anything externally, is what I was trying to go. And whatever you build internally, you'll be so filled within yourself that you no longer look for things externally, because you know you have it within you. And anything external is just a complementary factor.
Absolutely. And what you said is important, because the whole of my process starts with external, because this is what clients know. This is their safe space. But then we dig in until we go to this internal. Right? And this is where it is connecting. So you're no longer looking for anybody else if you are connected within yourself. You're no longer looking for that person you want to become. You are it.
Love
right?
Love that.
So only by doing the process of self-discovery, and some of you, my guys, ask, how do you do that? How do you find the process? Spend some time with yourself.
That's it.
I love to go to a park. I love parks. I could lay down on the grass and like watch the sky. I just love to smell flowers. You know, this could be so cliche, but find the things which make you happy. This is like therapy for me. And you know, I would not accept living somewhere where I don't have access to that. And little things like that. You know, I like red color, but I also like black. So wear that. You know, show your personality in yourself. How you wear, how you know, dress, maybe where do you go, and identify that this is part of you, and be I don't know, be kind that this is what you chose. Don't beat yourself up that you look different, but embrace the differences. Embrace the fact that you are taller than that woman you compare yourself to. Embrace the fact that maybe I don't know, you can reach something and she can't. It's just being silly, but you know, we all have differences, and we will never be exactly the same as the other person. It doesn't mean that you can't aspire to create some sort of level of, I don't know,
attainment or achievement.
Exactly, achievement. They have you. Of course, you have to surround yourself with people you are looking up to, but it doesn't mean you have to compare yourself and beat yourself up if you are not there yet, or will never be. The process you are going through supposed to be like putting you in a position where you enjoy every single day of becoming you, better version of you. And the fact is that I wasn't enjoying that. I wanted now, and that's it. So how can you stop that now? You know, I want to be now beautiful. I want to be now feeling whatever. I want to have now all this success. I want to have now all of that. You can stop when you actually listen to your heart and feel like, is this really what I want? And a cost of what? And it's really, everything is inside you. All the answers are in there.
Wow. And that's a good point to kind of leave it there. So thank you very much for everyone who's been listening to us today as well. Time has obviously gone so quick as well. There's so much more. We'll definitely have to invite her around for another topic of discussion to go even deeper in depth into that as well. But yes, obviously you do such amazing work, and thank you for sharing so much information today, which has enabled people hopefully to, you know, discover their better self in order to feel more empowered and remove that feeling of inadequacy within them, but know that they are enough, because we all want to feel like we are seen, we are heard, and we are enough. So you are enough. How can people connect with you?
You can go to my website. That's
Yep.
probably the easiest way, which is Paulina with
Mhm.
A, branding dot photography. Or you can find me on Instagram, which is Paulina Branding Photography. One long word.
That's it. Thank you so much for everyone who's been tuned in to us. Obviously, today we was talking about eradicating the feeling of inadequacy in order to find your own awesomeness. And I hope that today, with everything that Paulina's basically shared, that you're able to not just find your awesomeness, but also walk in it. Thank you very much for listening. As you already know, you can always catch us at Simply Greg Show on Facebook, at Simply Greg Show on Instagram, at Simply Greg Show on Twitter. I normally say life is complicated enough. Why make it more? Until next time, see you soon. Take care.